Welcome to the Multi-Orgasmic Mama podcast, where sexy motherhood taboos are broken. I'm Tilly Storm, holistic sex and jade egg coach and tantric sex teacher, all-around pleasure and prosperity advocate, and mama of two. If you are looking to get the spark back in your sex life and relationship, if you'd like to revive desire and feel sexy again without hormones, years of therapy, or trying things that don't feel authentic in the bedroom, then download my free Ignite Your Desire e-guide at www.tillystorm.com/e-guide. This episode is brought to you by the Sensually Embodied Woman Collective. If you're ready to remove all your blocks to pleasure, turn on and feeling confident and sexy in your body through my paid programs and offerings, then head to www.tillystorm.com today. Welcome back, my luxury lovers. It's Tilly Storm. And today I'm talking to you about using your sexual energy to manifest and alchemize whatever you want in life. Before you get the wrong idea about all of this, though, I want to open your mind so you don't go thinking that all this is some weird occult-like dark stuff that you do that might be harmful to other people just to get what you want. No. Actually, people of any faith or any spiritual practice can do sex magic, which is really what it's called, because when you do it correctly, it doesn't counter the will of your creator, and it doesn't negatively impact anyone, because you're only setting your intention or your goal and amplifying that intention or goal with your sexual energy when the intention or goal is in alignment with the good of all beings. So you're making sure that you check in to make sure that your intention and goal is with the good of all beings. Lately, I have been on a little kick. I've been reading the work of Carolyn Elliott, who wrote the book Existential Kink. I've been super into her stuff lately. And if you're really into manifestation, tantra, the hermetic arts, then you should definitely check out her stuff. She's amazing. She's actually going to be on the podcast soon. She accepted my invite for an interview, and I am so freaking excited. Anyway, sexual energy manifestation is so incredibly potent. It is really an art and a science. There's so much to say about it. I mean, it's so hard to explain, right? I think I've tried explaining it several times on this podcast, but it has been around for a long time, and some of the most powerful investors and entrepreneurs have recognized the importance of using sexual energy to manifest. It's even talked about in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And what's cool is that no matter what your spiritual or religious beliefs are, you don't have to give those up to dive in. You just got to be willing to embrace the mystical side of your beliefs and believe that your desires are present for you because they will lead you closer to spiritual awakening, enlightenment, and oneness with your creator. So if you believe that your desires are inherently bad, then that's because you have unintegrated fear, shame, disgust, guilt, whatever, around your desires. And when you integrate and alchemize your relationship to desire itself, your desires will feel good and holy and sacred. And that's when sex magic will actually work. So now this episode is for anyone, but who I really find it benefiting the most and who I like to work with around this stuff is those of you at the top of your game. Okay. But somehow you know deep down that you are not tapping into your greatest potential as a lover, or your greatest potential in your career or your investments, or something feels a little missing, and deep down you know that it has to do with your sexuality. You know you're not fulfilling that greatest potential in life because you aren't connected to your body and your sexuality at the level that you know you could. And you know that if you could, then you would be able to have what you want. So I'm not sure how so many of us know this truth to some extent, but I really think that if you are in touch enough with your body deep down, it's kind of wired in our DNA that it's part of the magical part of being a human, right? There's just something mystical about our humanness around our sexuality and how primal it is, that can scare a lot of people away from this type of stuff. But if you're bold and courageous enough to dive in, then I promise you there's a lot waiting for you. I know very many successful entrepreneurs, CEOs who are killing it in their career or their business, but they still struggle to have a deeply satisfying, like the earth shattering, the soul shaking connection with their significant other, or they're just like not in their full potential because of this, because they aren't tapping in to their sexuality at the level that they could. They're leaving a lot of untapped energy and power behind because they haven't awakened this inner power inside of themselves. One type of person that sex magic, manifestation, and alchemy and the tantric arts is not for is victims. Like I mentioned in last week's episode, if you like playing that biggest victim card, please unsubscribe and get out of here, because this is not for you, honey. Sex magic, manifestation, and alchemy and the tantric hermetic arts is for people who are willing to take full and radical responsibility for their life and who want to co-create it instead of be helpless victims to their 3D reality. It means that you got to get uncomfortable. You got to be willing to own your mistakes. You got to be willing to take responsibility for your thoughts. You got to be willing to take responsibility for your actions. And you got to learn how to master your emotional body and your nervous system first and foremost. So let's talk about sex magic, manifestation, and alchemy for a moment. According to Oxford Dictionary, the word alchemy means a seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or combination. Alchemical processes are necessary in manifestation, and you learn to alchemize the bad stuff to energy by finding the secret, hidden, and kinky pleasure in your experience. And as Carolyn Elliott, the author of Existential Kink, says, you get what you want by getting off on what you don't want. Okay? Having is evidence of wanting. And it is so, so true. So I know you're thinking like, well, how could I possibly want to feel like I don't have money to do the things I want to do? I promise you, deep down, if you dive in, you'll love it, because your infinite, divine self that is powerful to create anything, powerful to create universes. That part of you came here to experience a limited existence because it got a little bored and tired of being infinite and all powerful all of the time. So it came to this planet and human body, and it's here, and it's like, wow, what is this interesting feeling of lack or of scarcity? Okay, it's just your divine nature wanting to play in a dual reality. Okay, but your ego only likes good stuff. Okay, so the part of you that's like, yeah, no, I would never want to experience lack or scarcity. Well, that's your ego talking. And your divine self's like, no, we want to experience it at all. Okay, so what is sex magic manifestation? Well, it is an alchemical process that enables you to harness the raw, the primal energy in the universe and to direct it to produce a particular outcome. It's not one of those tantric sex rituals to make your sex life better. It's one of those that I teach as a means to an end. It's a way to mobilize your amazing creative power that is your sexual energy to generate a desired result. Basically, you do sex magic for the same reasons you would do any other type of magic, to cause something that you desire to happen. Your goal could be anything you want it to be, like your next level financial goals or more connection and intimacy with your partner. But when you add sexual energy, you increase the intensity of your intention. It's kind of like adding gasoline to a fire. But what you're actually doing in sex magic is you're aligning your will with your creator's will. Now, a lot of people here have probably heard of sex magic, and you may have tried it and you're like, well, that was dumb. It didn't work. Or maybe you've never even heard of this before. I don't know. But I know it's something y'all wanted to hear about on the podcast. So that's why I'm talking about it. But I want you to know that for it to work, well, first of all, you have to learn it properly, right? But there's actually 5 things that you need to work on in your sexuality for sex magic to be beneficial for it to actually work for you. The first one is that you have to get on the side of your shadow and integrate your shadow. What does that mean? It means working with all of the guilt, the shame, the disgust, the fear that you have around sexuality and your relationship with your desires in the first place. So if you view your sexuality as a source of shame, sex magic isn't going to be that powerful for you because you've got your sexual energy under lockdown. The second thing that you got to work on is that you have to get sensitized to your sexual energy and awaken your subtle energy body and your chakra system. You have to activate your chakra system. Your chakras don't just exist. You have to go and put them there. You have to activate them with your consciousness. So you do that through tantric sex practices that I teach, because you've got to learn to consciously move sexual energy through your chakra system to transmute and alchemize sexual energy. You have to be in touch with your chakra system and your sexual energy. Okay, the third thing that you have to do is you have to start allowing yourself to want what you want and experience your deepest, truest desires as good, as holy, as pleasurable, and sacred. So if you don't experience your deepest desires as sacred, you're not ready. Okay, number 4, you have to begin seeing yourself as the divine and infinitely powerful creature that you are. So if you feel like you're here and you're a victim to everything and you feel like you don't have the power to create your life, well, it's probably not going to work because you have to recognize that you are an infinite being with the power to create anything you want. And if you don't fully believe that, this isn't for you either. Okay, so the 5th thing that you have to do is you have to fully let go of a specific outcome of how it might come to you. So you might want something to come a particular way to you, but you don't get to decide the outcome. Okay, you just get the desire and it's up to the universe and your creator, whatever you believe in, to figure out the how. So you can read all sorts of articles about sex magic. You can even go read Teen Vogue or Women's Health magazine. They have articles about sex magic. I just typed in sex magic in Google once and I saw like a Teen Vogue article. I'm like, oh my God, are we teaching teenagers how to do sex magic? This is so weird. Because I promise you, I don't think I've ever would have come across a freaking Teen Vogue article on sex magic when I was a teenager. But I promise you, it is a bit more complicated and involved than what they're telling you in those articles. So for sexual energy manifestation to work, you've got to integrate any unprocessed emotions or blockages you have around desire and sexuality itself. Because your sexual energy is kinked up like a clogged hose pipe. For those of you that aren't from South Louisiana listening, funny but true story. Hose pipe is a very River Cajun way of saying hose, like a water hose. But most people say hose, but I don't know, people where I'm from say hose pipe for some reason. Anyway, so if you are kinked up like a hose pipe, right? And it's not available, your sexual energy isn't available to access for manifestation purposes. If you're walking around with so much shame, you can't even book a call with me to talk about your shame, which happens a lot, by the way. So yes, you really can become a sexual energy manifester to take your career goals or your investment goals or your intimacy and sexuality goals to the next level. But you've got to go through these 5 steps for it to really work and to be powerful. Now, if you're interested in learning how to do that, I would love to teach you because I have become a master of this. I manifest everything with my sexual energy. I manifest all sorts of amazing crap. Right now, I'm manifesting my brand new electric Tesla. That's what I'm working on. It'll be here in a few weeks, I promise. Okay, so if you're interested in learning how to do this for yourself, I'd love to teach you. The sex magic ritual with your partner is one of the things that I teach in my private club for luxury lovers programs. And I teach it in both my virtual Tantra for Lovers program and in the in-person Tantric Activation VIP experience because it's so powerful and amazing to manifest with your partner. But please remember, the last day to apply for the Tantra for Lovers or the Tantric Activation VIP experience is April 8th, 2021. I promise you, you don't want to come to New Orleans in July or August or September because it is hot as fuck here. So if you're interested in doing the VIP in-person experience, I'd love to have you, but I want to get you here before the end of May for sure, because it's going to be so hot. Anyway, book a call at www.tillystorm.com/tantra, and let's get you tapped into your fullest potential and power, my luxury lovers. See you all next week. Bye.